I was supposed to fucking die in a cement box and I didn't. So what am I going to do with the life that was given to me?
Mm.
How am I going to use that? I like liking myself.
Mm.
And there's a lot of people that's been exposed to horrific shit in this world. Almost every human being alive has suffered way beyond what they'll talk about.
Mm.
My belief is that I don't care what you've been through, we can all heal.
All right. So I'm here with my friend Rick Misener. And first saw Rick on a documentary that is probably my favorite documentary, but definitely in the top few, if not. Uh, it's called The Work, 2017. Um, Incredibly powerful. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But not only have I seen Rick on the documentary, I met him in person when he and a group of other guys were invited to a retreat I put on in Kentucky, and they were there to uh, put people through workshops, full day workshops to do the work they do with the retreat participants. And I was blown away by the response of the participants, both just my own observed transformations that they had and their words that said, many of them said that the retreat, um, the one day they did with the Inside Circle crew was worth the entire retreat. And that's saying a lot. So, anyway, so I got to meet Rick, got to spend an evening with him before the retreat started, and immediately just connected at the heart level. Our interests align very much. And so we've been kind of chatting back and forth, and I suggested that, we could have a conversation. And the topic of that conversation would be how to change the human heart. And this is about deep transformation, the deepest transformation, and what goes into that, how we approach it, and so forth. So, first, I just want to introduce Rick Misener.
Good morning, or maybe afternoon, depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
I don't even really know how to introduce myself anymore. I used to have self appointed titles, and I would try to live into them. And what I'm finding for myself now is every day I get to be someone different. The only thing that's consistent is in my integrity myself. So I don't even know how to introduce myself anymore, Angelo.
Hmm. I resonate, definitely resonate with that. When you say you get to be someone uh, new every day or someone different every day, is that in relation to who you interact with and what comes up and that sort of thing? Or
Yeah, and it's hilarious to me that my life was lived in such a way that it's made me fit in anywhere. I can sit with people with more money than common sense and understand where they're coming from, or I can sit in the gutter with someone who only dreams about money and I understand where they're coming from. So that's what I mean. It's made me more versatile to interact with human beings.
mm,
And I like that about myself. For someone who grew up just wanting to be loved and trusted and knowing that it was stupid to love or trust me, now it's great to see how it's manifested and how it's reconfirmed over and over and over.
beautiful. Yeah, I felt that around you. Immediately when we met. It was like a just a kind of fluidity with our interaction. Um, and again, I was just moved that immediately what you and I were interested in talking about was exactly the same thing, really, in which is human transformation and how to reach the seemingly unreachable. And we've both been there ourselves. We've both been unreachable in life, and uh, know now what's possible. And what I'm interested in is making that available. However that needs to happen. How making that first of all, I suppose the message that you can transform You can heal at the deepest level, no matter how fucked up your life has been, no matter how much trauma you have. It is possible. You're not beyond help. You're not beyond hope. And the key ingredient is love, ultimately, one way or another, I think.
Just seems too simple, don't it?
Mm.
That all I have to do is get myself in a position to where I can love a person no matter where the fuck they're at. And then for me, something bigger happens. I get asked everywhere I go, how do you become a good facilitator? And that's turned into a running joke with me. You sit your fucking ass in a chair and you tell the truth about what the hell life's done to you. And then spirit somehow feels that we're worthy of the attention.
Mm.
Yeah, my life is it's a miracle. And for me to not recognize that seems to really disrespect the thing that I call God.
Mm.
Because I remember the long dark nights. I remember the begging for help and not even really believing there was anyone listening.
Mm.
But here it is. I'm a 62-year-old man that was never supposed to live past 30. I'm a happily, blissfully married man. And I was supposed to be unlovable. And what I've really come to believe, Angelo, is I'm not that fucking different from anybody else.
Mm.
The story may be a little different or the circumstances, but we all suffer.
Mm.
We all hurt. We all long. We all love. So if I can get past my own shit that I've stored up here that I think makes me smart, if I can get past that shit and just surrender to what life has done to us and is doing to us, something magical happens. And I no longer need to be able to define or determine what that is. I
Mm.
just have to lean in and experience it. And that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. That's what's made my life so great. That's why I
Mm.
get to be whoever I want. If I want to go run in the backyard and play with my dog, I can do that. I don't have to care about who sees me, what image it portrays, or all the things that I used to trouble myself with that don't mean nothing. And I came out here in 2017, and then I watched. It's worse out here than it is in prison.
Mm.
People are so busy trying to hold that mask up that they don't even get to be themselves.
Mm.
And somehow we've come up with a method, for lack of a better word, to where when people sit together, we get to just be whoever the fuck we are.
Mm.
And that's okay.
Mm.
Life is good. Life is really, really good if I choose to get out of my own way and call my own bullshit.
Mm. Yeah, we meet in the suffering, I think, primarily. We have to start there because if we don't start there, we're already avoiding it and we're already wearing a mask. Yeah.
And isn't it strange how people try so hard to convey an image that their shit is together? They've got it all together.
Mm.
They got no issues. Everything is fine. I'm doing great. Look at my new car. See how big my house is. And and yet they struggle with themselves.
Mm.
I don't know how many people I've met that don't even like their own reflection. The first thing they do is point out a flaw.
Mm.
But here's this amazing living organism that's breathing and moving and helping and changing things. And all they see is the flaw.
Mm.
My sad reality is that there's more prisoners in society than there are in prisons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems that the connecting point is the same. Just just see you. Just let me sit my skinny ass down, shut up, and listen to what you're really saying.
Mm.
It seems too simple sometimes.
Yeah. You mentioned finding a way to love someone. That's kind of the key. Finding the love. What do you do if you don't feel that, immediately, or when you sit with someone and it's something about them is triggering or uncomfortable, or you just don't relate and don't know why? How do we get past
I
that
get
barrier inwardly?
curious. I get curious at that point
Hmm.
because and I get this. This makes me a little different than most people. I don't naturally assume it's because of something you're doing.
Hmm.
I naturally assume that something I'm doing is stopping me from being able to meet you where you're at, wherever that is.
Yeah.
Because I preach empathy and integrity. But if I can't get out of my own way, or I don't like the way you talk or look or act, and I can't get to who the human you are because of that, that's my shit, not yours.
Hmm.
So that's how I do it. I mean, I'm sure everybody has their own method, but that's how I do it.
Yeah.
I just want to see who you really are. I don't have to like you.
Hmm.
Let's just share truth.
Yeah.
If we promise to keep our hands to ourselves, that anything you say, I got you. I will not tell nobody else that.
Hmm.
There's other agreements that can be made, like the I statement and speak the truth. All these other things. But those two, if I could just fucking protect your anonymity, if I can share confidentiality with you, and if I promise to keep my hands up,
Hmm.
if those two things happen, somehow I find the humanity, and I don't care who they are. I don't
Hmm.
care if you're a fucking psychopath or a mental patient. Somewhere in there is compassion, somewhere in there's empathy, somewhere in there's longing. And I know all three of them really well.
Hmm.
So let's meet where we do share shit. I don't need to decide how different you are. It's none of my business, really.
Hmm. Yeah. What I pick up when you talk about the anonymity, or maybe the sanctity of the space you're holding, um, that it's not about anything outside of right now. It's about right now. It's about getting to know you, letting you be who you are. And keep to my hands myself. Certainly, those are both pointing directly to safety.
Yeah.
If you can genuinely offer someone safety right now, you're already offering them something that's reasonably uncommon in human interactions on a day-to-day basis, even with family members,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Maybe
But for
especially
someone to know they feel safe with you right now and you mean it, that's a huge gift right there in and of itself. Yeah.
because I don't think human beings really get to experience complete safety very often.
Yeah.
I know in my life, the moments where I felt really, really safe, as rare as they were, they're priceless. Somewhere in that safety, I'm just me.
Mm.
And the just me, I like the just me. May not be socially correct, definitely authentic.
Yeah.
And I will love anybody. I don't give a fuck where they've been, what they've done. I don't give a fuck where they're at and what they're doing. There's moments in my life, and I remember clearly, I just needed to be loved.
Mm.
So if nothing else, let me just love you without a catch, without strings, without a price tag, without anything else.
Mm.
Let's just fucking be human together.
Mm.
And for me, when I can do that, something bigger than me shows up. God, spirit, God's love, Buddha, I don't care what you call it. It's all the same thing to me. Something shows up. And when that shows up, then the magic happens.
Mm.
And I have no delusions. It's me making the magic happen. It's me getting the fuck out of my own way and letting the magic happen.
Mm.
So I don't ask that question, how do I become a good facilitator? I ask that question, how do I become a good human being for just a few minutes?
Yeah.
We'll do it a few minutes at a time. I can probably pull that one off.
Mm.
And I've watched it in you. I watched it in Kentucky and so many of them people that came through, they thought they were being taught. And the truth is, they were being the teachers. They were modeling what it's like to just fucking be real. Not get caught up in what's going to happen in 5 minutes because of this, or even get hung up in the regression shit about what happened 5 minutes ago to make me feel this. For me, none of that really matters. Sure, I understand in the basic entry level of emotional healing, there's regression work required. I get that. There's language that needs to be. I get all that stuff, and that's not what it is. It's past that. It's more into the real essence of who we are as human beings. Something magical happens for me in that spot.
Mm.
I laugh my ass off it at the end of a training or a circle. Of someone say, "I love when you said, rah, rah." How did you know to say it? Well, fuck, I didn't even know I said it, so I couldn't answer that question.
Mm.
That's for me. That's the sacred spot.
Yeah.
That's really communing with what I believe put me here, and I don't have to understand it. And if I find myself in a situation where I don't know if I'm teaching or learning, that's the perfect place to live.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. No agendas, no agendas, no roles.
No, it cracks me up because we're pretty efficient at Inside Circle.
I would
And
agree.
everybody thinks that we've got this fucking curriculum that we've mastered. And I promise you, people, it is none of that. It's we get the fuck out of our own way and let God show
Mm.
whatever God is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll just be a tree. Who knows?
Yeah. When I was talking to you before the retreat, just interacting with you and kind of vibing and feeling into what this is about. Um, yeah, it definitely came up for me that uh, one thing you and I very much agree on is doing any kind of work with people. They have to be in a safe place. They have to know they're in a safe place to go the way they need to go. And I can't, and if I impose, I can have a strategy here and there if it comes up or whatever, but generally speaking, like they know where to go. People know where they want to go. And they know, as you said, that place of just being exactly as you are unapologetically. They want to go there, of course. And so we have to let them do that, show them it's okay. It's safe to be who you are, period. And let somebody go the way they need to go. And so in a way, it's what you're not doing when holding that space, maybe that is so transformative. Um, you're not getting in the way. You're not a barrier. James isn't a barrier. Just a kind of facilitator to say, hey, let's go the way you need to go. Let's figure this out, and we're here for you. That's
Yeah,
that's what I felt in just talking to you. Yeah.
yeah. We use the term leading from behind
Mm.
because I want you to go wherever you want to go. If it's hang a sharp right and we're headed out in through the thorn bushes, well, then fuck it, let's go.
Mm.
But if that's going to be more damaging, can I stand behind you and put a hand on your shoulder and just guide you back onto the path and let you be safe? But
Yeah.
I agree with you, Angelo. That for me, that's what it was. It was I required feeling safe to be able to get past my own shit because I'd mastered the mask that was given to me on how to be unsafe. I mastered that one. And it was just my own insecurities that made me become the more vicious I became, the more insecure I was, more afraid I was. And once I got that piece, man's search for meaning, showed me that one. Once I found that piece, that it really don't matter what's happening to me. I get to control how I feel about it. I can love or I can hate. I can be dangerous or I can be safe.
Hmm.
So truthfully, it kind of started out as just a challenge. Well, is that something I could even fucking learn how to do?
Hmm.
For the first year of group, I said, I'm snake, I'm in, I'm snake, I'm out. That's all I said. But the stuff was moving in here. Stuff was waking up that I didn't even know was there. And I wanted to live in a different way than how I was living. And I didn't know how. And what I've come to believe now is, fuck, I wasn't no different than 99% of the people I encounter every day. We just want to do something different and we don't know how.
Hmm.
It's like I'm being incongruent. I want this, but I'm living this. So for me, the solution is consistency. For a year, I went and watched these other dudes who were more courageous than I was. And pretty soon I realized, oh shit, I know that black guy's mom's name. Oh shit, I know that Mexican's daughter's name. And the things that were supposed to be dangerous that people knew became safe.
Hmm.
And I'm a curious bastard. When I start doubting things, I need to know, okay, what's the truth?
Hmm.
So I started really, really pulling apart my belief system. I need to know, okay, I get it. I believe that. I believed it for a long fucking time. How come I believe? Where did it even come from? Who told me that?
Hmm.
How long have I believed it? How's it hurting me? I want to know all this stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the secret is consistently. I consistently have to do my work. I have to question. I don't want to just naively believe anymore. That turned me into someone that I'm ashamed of. So now I'm going to choose how I step. And if it pleases you or offends you, fuck you, I don't care. That's how I'm going to do it because I like the reflection when I do it that way. And the more I do it, I'm seeing the more lovable I become.
Hmm.
The more aggressively I do my work, I'm learning, wow, the gentler I'm becoming. I was terrified probably 5 years after getting out that, oh, fuck, people aren't going to know how dangerous I am and that'll make me vulnerable. That's more of that stupid childish belief system. I adopted that message when I was 6 years old and my dad was talking to that. That
Hmm.
has nothing to do with how I've been living my life for the last 40 or 50 years.
Yeah.
And still I'm choosing that as the guardrail. No, no, let's spread it out. Let's make them wider.
Yeah.
Let's stop being afraid of everything. Because right now I've lived well past what I thought I would. Well past. So if I die right now, I did more good than bad. That feels good.
Yeah.
That feels good. Because I used to think it was the bad, scary shit that made everybody leave me alone and that provided my safety. That didn't provide my safety. That just provided my loneliness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I look like what I look like. I sound like what I sound like. But I'm probably one of the softest people you know.
Hmm. Yeah. It's an interesting thing with the masculine mask, that even someone who hasn't, been in had crime in their life and violence in their life, they're still subtler layers of that, of the sort of violence, a sort of holding other people at bay, a sort of, using communication styles to push people away and to be a little threatening yourself. But I think that's exactly right. That comes with not safety, it comes with isolation. So you just continue to feel unsafe.
Yeah.
And again, it comes back to just really seeing who you are, not not what you're trying to protect. Not your protection mechanism, but seeing what it is that wants to be protected. Yeah, feeling into that, Yeah.
Yeah, because we know how to protect ourselves.
Right.
I mean, very few times is my physical abilities required. Very, very, very few times. And there's, truth be told, this doesn't sound socially acceptable, but it's true for me. I like the fact that I can rip somebody's windpipe out if I have to. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a layer of safety in that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. I got warped values on safety. But knowing that part makes me safer to be a little less or a little more vulnerable because I still have confidence. I'm old now. I'm not going to run across the yard and do flips and shit no more, but I know that I know how to move my body in a way to where it won't be too wounded, or I know how to stop somebody from hurting.
Mm-hmm.
And so what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like having a snowmobile in the Arizona desert.
Right. Yeah.
I don't need it. For my ego, it's good to have because it makes it where, okay, this guy is really, really scary and no one wants to get him excited. Fuck it, I'll get him excited. But we're going to do it in a way to where it's not a competition of strength or
Mm-hmm.
movement. Let's talk about the shit we should really share. The uncertainties, the doubt, the fears. We can all sit around and talk about how great our lives are, but can you sit down and just honestly tell me where you're suffering?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's doable.
Mm-hmm.
I've already survived, and I know how to survive. So let's talk about the shit that no one wants to talk about. Let's go deep.
Mm-hmm.
And for all those motherfuckers that want to talk about the weather or how grand their parents were and all that shit, you just truck your ass over in the corner. We got work to do.
Mm. Yeah.
I just want to learn to be authentic, and I feel like I've gotten to a place in my life where I model that well. Is it always acceptable? Absolutely not. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
I wear a hat for others' sake as much as mine. It says warning, no filter.
Yeah.
It cracks me up. Out here, people have groups of things that you just don't talk about.
Yeah.
You don't talk about politics. You don't talk about religion. You don't talk about finances. Well, the fuck I don't. Those are the things I struggle with. I got to talk about them.
Yeah.
But when you put human beings in a room and it's safe, like you said, all of those things that are taboo to talk about are now open game. And I
Mm-hmm.
learn all kinds of shit there. I got one of my buddies is super Republican.
Mm-hmm.
I am not.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that when politics come up, there would be an uncomfortability or conflict. That's not true. We're both emotionally stable human beings.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the system we support. We just support.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the outcomes. And it don't matter if it's politics, it don't matter if it's religion, it don't matter what it is. If people feel safe with each other and respect the one I'm talking to, I'm open to learn all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found to be true is they are too. Now, I think that's why you and I jive right away. We're just straight up real.
Mm.
I want to love in a world where loving is hard.
Yeah. Yes. That's it. And it's exactly what you're talking about. Like someone who's easy for me to like, probably because they're like me somehow, that's fine. That's great. But someone who's challenging maybe because they have a very different political view or a different, whatever, anything. That's where the fun is in a way. That's where the challenge is to find where we meet. And what I found is if I take the time, effort, and vulnerability to find where we meet, that's when I find out actually if we focus on the thing we disagree on, we'll seem like we're two universes apart. When we start to focus on what we agree upon, I don't even think about that part anymore. It's like, oh yeah, you're human, just like I'm human, and everyone. And as you said, that's when magic happens. Other forces come into come to bear in those situations where um, massive transformation can happen, things you can't expect or plan or any of it. Um,
What do you think that
and
is? What do you think the source of that is?
I think it has to do with a sort of intention, an intention to orient to truth that is sort of by definition beyond our beliefs, a truth that is beyond any perceptual filters we have based on our own experiences and traumas and just viewpoints. Just having, I see the world through these eyes because I've lived this life. You see the world through these eyes. But and all that has its relative value. But if we go deep enough inside, then we find a place where we meet. And when we meet there, we meet something infinite,
Yeah.
eternal, beyond time, beyond space, and it has power beyond the kind of simple human dimension of one person. I don't know, more
Yeah.
than the sum of its parts. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. And you
Yep.
can never predict it, and you could give examples of it, but tomorrow it might be a completely different thing with a certain person in a certain situation, and the key just twists and the lock opens, and it's like, man, I don't know. And I'll be honest, like when I work with some people who I feel they're just in such a desperate place or a challenging place, and I feel so much of that with them, I really empathize and I can just feel that struggle to it's mine too. And I feel helpless, and I just feel let that helplessness just be here, and then
Yes.
something clicks, something changes. I don't know why it changes. So I can share suffering, and I'm willing to where I don't even know if it's mine or theirs, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just what's felt right now. So
Yeah. My greatest skill set, I believe, is that I'm willing and capable of feeling empathy. That's
yes,
my skill set.
yeah, yeah. It's oh man, talking to you. I just love talking to you because it's there's statements I can make about who I am, who I've always been, that I learned at a young age, and I learned even as an adult. Like it's not always socially acceptable. It's not always, it doesn't fit into the social matrix or whatever. But the statement I would make about myself is this: if you're suffering, I will go wherever you need to go with you. I want to go to the center of your suffering and feel it with you. I don't know why I want to do that. I don't even know why. Maybe I'm fucking nuts. Maybe it's just ridiculous, but it's true. But it's true. And that's what matters, right? I'm willing to go to wherever you need to go if you're willing to go there as authentically as you can. And even that means you may not feel fully authentic at times. That's okay. But
Yep.
if you're willing, is a willingness. If you have that willingness and it's authentic, I'll go there with you. And I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how much I'm going to hurt feeling that, but I will. I'll feel it with you. Or what's going to come up. My stuff's going to come up. Like all of that is all part of the soup. And I'm willing to taste that soup. And that's probably the most interesting thing in life to me, to be honest. I like other things. I like creativity. I like bonding emotionally with family members and people and friends. I like all that stuff. But this is the most interesting thing to me, for sure.
Yes, me too. It's the most impactful. For me, the world is in a really fucked up place.
I
And
agree.
we're not in a fucked up place because of the finances or politics or anything else. We're in a fucked up place because we forgot we're supposed to love each other.
Yeah.
It's your side, my side. It's kind of like fucking sports fanatics or something, but we're sports fanatics with life. Our team is this, our team is that. And it don't matter how
Yeah.
fucking wrong or how blatant the foul was, we're going to support them. Oh, bad call. That's, to me, that's what's wrong. We forgot that we're more alike than different.
Mm.
So for me, let's find a way that I don't give a fuck how different you are. Let's find a similarity. Let's go down that road. Let's see if that
Yeah.
even exists.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's something as basic if we have to go into, well, we both breathe air. Let's
Yeah.
start there.
Absolutely.
I'm like you. I got that empathy. I'm willing to go anywhere.
Mm.
Because the way we're going, if we don't learn how to love each other, I seen what happens. We just
Yeah.
start hating each other based on stupid shit.
Yeah.
And there's
And
nothing
it
really.
becomes fear. It becomes
Yeah,
fear pretty quickly. And in groups
yeah,
of people who are in a lot of fear, that's when violence happens, really,
yeah.
stupidity
But
happens.
you've heard my beliefs are on anger. Anger is not an emotion. It's just a reaction to one.
Hmm.
Every time I've been angry in my life, I was scared or I was ashamed that shit was getting ready to get found out or I was sad beyond what I could sit with.
Hmm.
So I get it to five basic emotions and all that, everything that Freud and Skinner and all them said. I get it. I just don't believe it because it was written in a book. Don't mean it's true for me, but because I watched it my whole life. Oh, I can't like this guy because his hair is different color.
Mm.
No, his skin's a different color. He talks with a different accent. There's a million and one things to keep us apart that where we're different. But if we can meet, no, I won't say we. When I meet people where they really are, that I have that too, then the safety is started. Then the trust is started. Then it's not okay. You're trying to work me because your team's over there. My team's this. It's we just get to be human beings and we forget we're supposed to be defending shit or just discussing shit. I don't know. At this point in my life, Angelo, the only thing I really trust is truth.
Mm.
It don't have to feel good. It just has to be true.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you there. And that, some of the stuff I talk about with awakening and all this, it does resonate with that because I think there has to be also a willingness to be a little uncomfortable. This work
Well,
is going to be
that
uncomfortable. You're going to
that
see things
determines
you don't want
whether
to
it
see.
happens.
Yeah. Well, you're already uncomfortable, right? You're just avoiding the fact that you're uncomfortable by telling stories. But yeah, it's like it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to see things about yourself you didn't want to see. It's okay to feel things you chronically not felt because of patterns or whatever. It turns out to be more than okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Almost required because when things were awesome in my life, I had everything I wanted and all that shit, or what I thought I wanted at the time. I didn't do much growing,
Mm.
not emotionally, not spiritually. It was in times of grief and struggle and despair and uncertainty. That's why I woke the fuck up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just become complacent. Oh, well, I got an ice cream. Life's great.
Yeah.
No, no, it's not. Let's talk about that. I don't give a shit if you think I got my shit together. Let's talk about where I struggle with myself when the lights are out.
Mm.
When it's your head on the pillow, what kind of thoughts are you really having? Let's talk about them. But people don't want to do that because that requires a degree of vulnerability that they've been taught is not acceptable. Don't
Yeah.
do that. Don't do that. Don't let people know.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on it, shake it off, walk it off.
Yeah.
What garbage advice.
Yeah, it goes back to what you said before, and I find it's true. There's definitely a hypnotic sort of social matrix of look how good I'm doing. Look how, social media is really amplified version of it. It's like look how great I'm doing, look how happy I am, look how much I have. Um, but we're not doing ourselves any kind of service. We're not eh, yeah, it's
We're
it's
not
just
we're not
looking in the
helping.
wrong direction.
We just refuse to help mankind. What the hell are we here for?
Hmm. Yeah.
And I could even use some of the Freudian shit of, oh well, I've done so much fucking bad that I have to even to balance it up. There is no motherfucking balance except for in my head.
Hmm.
What's the right thing to do? Do the right thing because it's the right thing. And that's all there is.
Hmm.
Well, it gets pretty simple when I put it that way.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
don't have I don't have to worry about the angles or the impressions or the ripples or nothing else. It's just the fucking right thing to do.
Yeah. And I think the more you trust yourself, the more you trust your own intuition, the more the right thing to do is just straightforward and obvious.
Yeah.
When you're really in a lot of delusion and you have a lot of inauthenticity, it can be confusing. I don't know what the right thing. I don't even know who I am. And so discovering really who you are, at least what you're feeling, um, the emotions you haven't looked at and felt for so long, then you start to orient to, okay, now I get a sense of how I'm oriented, who I am, and then uh, my intuition may be subtle at first, but it starts to be rather loud. The intuition of how to move right now, what as you said, it comes out of your mouth. I don't know why that came out of my mouth, but I trust it utterly. I trust myself utterly now. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I water too many good things down by trying to filter them. I would have a thought, I would see something, I would feel something, and what I believe is it's that spirit telling me, hey, stupid, pay attention right there. And I would put it up here instead. Oh, yeah, but if I do that, then this. So, like, all of a sudden, I'm predicting the future. Like, I got that
Hmm.
skill. And I don't say it the way it was felt to me.
Hmm.
Okay, well, how come you just twitched your little finger instead of just asking you how come you twitched your little finger? What do you I want to change it to where I'm not going to look like I'm asking the wrong question. There is no fucking wrong question. There's a yes or a no.
Yeah.
It's something or it's not.
Yeah.
It's not that personal.
Hmm.
So that's where I'm getting now is I'm getting to where, okay, maybe I've just gone crazy because I feel this. Don't make sense to feel it, and I'm going to say it anyhow. And then something happens.
Hmm.
People, we're so full of shit. We think we're really important and we're really about something. We're really bright. We ain't none of that shit. We're a bunch of fucking fleas destroying our own planet. So if I can get out of my own belief system of who I am, then things that make me feel good happen.
Hmm.
Does a normal motherfucker walk by trees and need to put his hand on it because the tree told him to? No, but I do.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know if the fucking tree really told me to or not, but it's something I wanted to do, so I did it, and I feel connection when I do it.
Hmm.
Am I supposed to believe that there's energetic properties in rocks and everything else? Maybe, I don't know, but I do.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I am more at ease with the world and more at peace with myself. So I'm going to keep believing that there's energy in rocks. I'm going to keep believing the trees that touch me. And if it's crazy, well then, yeah, call me crazy.
I'm
But
the same way.
it feels
Yeah, and the
great,
same.
don't it?
It is great, and it's intuition. Like as I say, like it can be moving through an environment. It makes no sense why I decided to go sit here for a moment, put my hand on something, feel something, stop when I was busy doing something else, and something just tells me how to move. It's very natural. It's very playful and simple, um, and it's a playground. Everything's really a playground when you're in the senses, and trusting
Exactly.
your body, you're trusting your senses. Um, Trusting yourself and trusting that you don't have to worry about how it looks or whether it's on the map or whether it's socially acceptable, really, you know, short
Yeah,
of like harming people or something. Of course, I don't mean that for anyone watching, but I mean,
yeah, but I don't never have instincts to do that.
exactly.
I have
Sure.
thoughts.
Sure.
I have manufactured thoughts. You stupid motherfucker, the light turned green, go.
Yeah.
Well, that's all headship.
Hmm.
There was nothing spiritual in that whole encounter to where it was like, ooh, I need to go tell him he's an amazing guy. That no matter what life looks like for you, someone loves you. I don't have those kind of thoughts. When he don't go as fast as I want him to go, I don't think about going and telling him what a beautiful creation he is. I want to go.
Mm.
That's my shit. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get past my shit. That's why I work so hard at doing my work. That's the only fucking thing that works. Consistency. Going back to your willingness that you mentioned. I'm not dragging nobody into healing of any kind. If you don't want it as bad as I want it for you, we're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
It cracks me up like with Elder or Aaron, and they'll tell me, you should take on more clients. You should, no, fuck you and your should. I want to help. I'm going to help the people who really need help.
Yep. I feel you.
And that feeds my heart. That feeds my soul. I was supposed to fucking die in a cement box and I didn't. So what am I going to do with the life that was given?
Mm.
How am I going to use that? I like liking myself.
Mm.
And there's a lot of people that's been exposed to horrific shit in this world. Almost every human being alive has suffered way beyond what they'll talk about.
Mm.
My belief is that I don't care what you've been through, we can all heal.
Mm. Well,
If
you're a testament to that. I mean, that was such a poignant aspect of the documentary, and for you, all the work you've been doing for years is like these are the most traumatized people around, and whew. And
yeah,
every one of them that's right. The recidivism rate, I understand, that's sort of left prison, having gone through this process, is like zero. Right? They
we've had
function well.
we've had one since 2017.
It's incredible. Nothing has ever produced any kind of results like that in our prison system ever.
Oh,
I
and
know that.
even the one that went back, everybody predicted he'd be back for a murder. No, he went back because he got drunk and had drugs in his pocket.
Mm,
He didn't hurt nobody.
good, good.
So even even the ones that we don't want to deem successes, they're succeeding.
Hmm. Mm,
If I continuously do my work, I'm going to be a better human being, and I ain't that fucking special. I'm not that different. If it's true for me, it's true for everybody. If everybody authentically does their work, keeps doing their work, quit running from that shit, they're going to be different people. Is it going to happen when you wake up in the morning and it's, oh, cool, I did work last night, now I'm healed? No.
mm.
No, but I consistently become a better human being. If I could custom order the person to live next door to my mom, I'd clone me.
Mm,
If I could clone someone that could live next door to your mom, I'd clone me because I could honestly say, without it being arrogant, just being true, I am a good dude.
mm,
I really love people
mm,
and I will help. I don't give a fuck how fashionable it is.
mm. I can endorse that. I mean, having been around you again, I trust you, and yeah, I've known you for a couple months, couple interactions here and there, but I trust you more than almost anyone I've ever met, really. And I'm a good judge of character. I know that about myself. You know, anyone can be fooled, but I'm a pretty good judge of character.
No,
And
that's a well placed trust.
yeah, and I know it is. 100%, absolutely. Um, and I don't even need it for me. I trust you for everyone you come in contact with. That's what I care about. And they're going to, here's the point. They're going to feel that trust, even if they don't consciously
Right.
register it. They're going to know they're in a safe space. And the moment you feel that you're in a safe space, the stuff starts coming up. Like it's going to start coming out, you know. And I have to say that there's the strength component as well. As you said, there is that part of yourself that knows how to take care of yourself and knows how to protect yourself, even in a physical way, in the very remote possibility. But that's also part of it. There's that strength in you, but there's genuine softness. It's not out of balance. You know what I'm saying? Some people are so soft, but they're almost like walking around with a victim sign or something. You know,
Right.
there's people obviously are way too hard, and they're the victimizers. You know, but I think to be fully evolved, or at least willing to continue to evolve in both aspects of strength, that warrior spirit that says, you're safe with me. I will protect you as we go where we need to go. And then the softness that says, and you can trust me fully. You're safe with me. Nothing that happens with you and I is going to abuse you, and none of it's going to go anywhere beyond this work. That's the fucking magic right there. Like if someone
That
can,
is,
if you can meet somebody at those levels, the work's gonna happen, right?
yeah. And it's funny because there's this life coach thing and self help thing and emotional healing thing that's gotten really big,
Yeah.
which is awesome. More people need to know. The part that amuses me and irritates me is that people's bastardized it and tried to monetize it. You know, so you get these people who's suffering and they want help
Hmm.
and they go to one of these pretenders
Yeah.
and that shuts them down.
Yeah.
Does more harm than good. That's why it's so important to me that I do the right thing for the
Mm.
right reason. I see it. I get it. I mean, I went and got my certificate that
Mm.
says I'm certified and legal and all that shit. But that paper didn't change nothing.
Mm.
For me, I felt like, and this sounds fucked up, but it's true. I felt like I had to dial it down. I had to dummy myself down to go through that course
Hmm.
because it's contracts, it's verbiage, it's all the things that they feel is important to the work is not.
Mm.
That's not what I feel is important to the work. Where do you fucking hurt? Let's just go there. I don't care about all the other shit.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be all gloom and doom. What's bliss feel like for you? Let's fucking go there. I like
Mm.
that too.
Mm.
But that has nothing to do with the curriculum or the structure or because I have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna do. I never do. I don't want to.
Mm.
When we did on that movement makers world peace speech in New York, like in 18, Everybody was trying to get me to write my speech down. Well, why the fuck would I do that? Well, that way you can edit and re-edit and structure. Fuck, you not know me?
Yeah.
That is not who I am. And when James and I got there and we spoke, Spirit showed up like Spirit always seems to. And it was beautiful, and just what needed to be said was said, whether it was said by me or by James or by someone else, it really didn't matter. I don't need to write down what I'm going to say in 5 days. I don't fucking know
Mm.
what I'm going to say in 5 days. But I trust the Spirit.
Mm.
I really, really trust Spirit that it's not going to let me make a complete ass of myself.
Mm.
I trust that.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
I can say I resonate totally. This is exactly how it is for me. If I give a talk or do, people invite me to conferences online, there's a bunch of people watching, and and they say, well, this is our conference. Here's the title. I have trouble even making titles for what I'm going to talk about, but I definitely can't, write it out because what comes here comes out of vulnerability to this moment. Like it's
Yes.
coming, I don't know where these words are coming from, but I trust them and I trust how I feel saying the words. I trust my interaction with you, and I can feel that what's coming up right now, what's coming out of this moment, is the only thing that needs to be here. That's the beauty of it. It's the only thing we have to pay attention to. I don't care what happened 5 minutes ago or 5 minutes from now. And this is the magic place for transformation for all of us. And you know what? Even if there is a falling on my face moment or something, like I trust that that happens. That's okay too. I'm all right. I can fuck up, make a mistake, trip over words. It's all part of the deal, And
Sometimes that's more educational and beneficial than how great we are.
mhm, mm,
Because I've watched some of my greatest teachers really stick their foot in their mouth.
mhm, mhm,
And when they did it, I didn't think, ah. I thought, oh, perfection is just a myth.
mhm,
That even in my brokenness, I can be complete.
mhm,
If he can, and I'm willing to follow that motherfucker off a mountain,
mm.
if he can, then I can too. I don't know. I'm just not going to spend a whole lot of time living in my head anymore.
Mm.
I find it funny now. People clown me. You're turning into a hermit. Like maybe I'm turning into a hermit because I just don't want to go chase the fucking ladder no more.
Mhm.
But man, being a hermit feels really, really good. I want to go lay on the couch in the middle of the afternoon, watch a movie with my wife. A hermit can do that.
Mhm.
If I'm trying to be a somebody in the movement, well, I got to give the movie, the couch, and the wife up for a while.
Mhm.
And nope, I spent 30 years sitting in cement boxes dreaming about what I thought the dream life would look like. The dream life looked like being somewhere warm, safe, where I'm loved, where I can open the door, go in and out whenever I want. And I can open a cabinet and there's food there. Shit, I got all that in abundance.
Mm.
What else do I really need? Do I need to modify the dream now that I've reached it? No, no.
Yeah. To me, it's about living in depth more than volume or, um, again, it's about the trust and the presence of this moment and just going as deep as you can. And that depth becomes really the richness of life. And
Yeah.
and I think everyone knows this to some degree. I mean, the moments that people have felt the most connected, I don't know, when you have your first child, or you see your baby born, or you hold your baby for the first time, or all these different things that when you feel the most poignant love and interconnection and depth is when you're not up here, when you're like in life, fully in the physical. Um, the beauty of it is available all the time. It really is available all the time. Yeah.
You would think that that would be enough for human beings to get it. It's not really playing out that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as you keep doing what you're doing, and I keep doing what I keep doing, and everybody who's really on the path keeps doing it and giving it away, it's going to change the world. We may not be here to see it,
Mm.
but we're definitely planting trees that will never sit in the shade of.
Yeah. I agree. Yep. And that's the message to, the reason I do this, the reason I have conversation with you or anyone else or any of the videos I make for that one person is we're going to watch this, who's sitting there, just something moves inside and they go, wait a minute. I mean, I don't have to fucking hate myself anymore. Like
Right?
there's a way out of this. There's a way out of this constant self-doubt, struggle, frustration, shame, avoidance, you know, there's a way out of that. That's it. And that's all I'm saying. And that's all you're saying.
Yeah. And it's, for me, it's as simple as just fucking making a choice and sticking to it. I could choose to be happy or I could choose to be sad. I can choose to let all the shit that happened back there dictate who I'm going to be up here. Or I can just fucking be right here, right now,
Mm.
and make the choice to do it the way I think it should be done. And love those that make it hard to love them.
That's the challenge.
That is,
Jesus called us to that challenge, right? He said, love your enemy, right? That's a radical fucking statement.
God.
It's radical, like really, like love the person who harmed you the most.
Yeah.
Love, okay, wait a minute. That's a lifelong process of deep integration and understanding and work,
What if it don't have to be? The
Doesn't have to
person,
be. That's true.
yeah, because the person who harmed me most in my own life was my father.
Hmm.
And I got to get clean with him. I got to forgive him. I
Hmm.
got to see, oh, okay. And that was liberating for me. It didn't tell me shit.
Yeah.
What he thinks, thought, and it's what beliefs, what story did I build and continue to tell myself it's not true.
Hmm.
I could
Beautiful.
choose. Every moment I get to choose.
Hmm. Man, beautiful. So if anyone wants to work with you, um, you have online, is it called Inside Circle online group or
Yeah, there is a Wednesday night group online. If you go to insidecircle.org and just
okay.
pull up the page, there's that. Others, you can reach me at Rick at Inside Circle, my email at Gmail. And I feel like I have to put this disclaimer in here. I don't just work with anybody.
I understand.
I know that sounds fucking really dirty in this profession, but I don't want a big client list. I want enough clients to keep my lights on or food in the refrigerator. But I only want them if they really want to do the work. Because I'm not gonna water it down. If it's bullshit, I'm gonna say, well, from where I'm sitting, it looks like bullshit. Have you thought? And we'll explore it.
Hmm.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I am not your penthouse motherfucking psychiatrist.
That's a fact, but it works. I know it works.
It
I've
definitely
gotten
works.
many good reviews from you.
I love people and I want people to get well, but I only want it if they want
Yeah.
it. That's how you can reach me.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
It wasn't much of a commitment. It was just hanging out with a friend.
Yeah, it was. It was beautiful. And there's going to be a documentary coming out, but it's still unannounced the time frame. Is that right?
Yeah, I was just talking to him yesterday. he's doing some final editing, and I think he's even getting into the marketing part right now.
Right on.
It, it's
Very cool.
it's one of them that's me that's not me.
Uh-huh. I saw the
It's
trailer and it looks phenomenal. Like really, it looks, I
oh
was like,
it
I want to see this.
Andrew Ellis is a badass producer,
Yeah.
and every documentary he does is badass.
Yeah.
This one is based, it's so connected to my life. It's someone else's life,
Yeah.
but it was running the same way mine did years later.
Hmm.
So it's
Very
gonna be
cool. All right. Well, maybe we'll have a conversation when that comes out to like maybe promote it or whatever as well, but just catch up again. So, all right, my
well,
friend.
don't be a stranger.
I won't. Yeah. Enjoy your hermitage.
I am. All
All
right, my
right,
brother.
brother.
Peace.
Take it easy.